was outrageous. This should never happen. This should never happen. Because of this, I look forward to working with the legislature over the next year to pass Missy's Law, a law that will prevent this loophole from taking place, that will prohibit judges from exercising such discretion when dangerous sex offenders and predators have been convicted of crimes. They cannot be allowed to go free. They cannot be allowed to take more lives. Thank you.
Over 2 pounds of fentanyl powder was taken off the streets, and it resulted in the arrest of these 2 individuals. The one on my right, your left, would be Christopher Hughes, also known as Juice. He's in custody now under a $2,000 bond. On my left is Ron, $2 million bond, I'm sorry. And on my left is Ron Wilson, a.k.a. Rooster. He is currently in our county jail under no bond. What this does is it's proof positive that strength in numbers, law enforcement agencies coming together as one, can accomplish many, many great things. This amount of dope that was taken off the streets could be responsible for 2 million lethal doses. In talking about that with FDLE and some of the others in there, if you put that into perspective, that's enough lethal doses of drugs to kill every citizen in our 3rd Judicial Circuit, or 47 times the amount of people, 47 times Suwannee County alone. So an investigation that spanned over a year and over 2,000 miles resulted in something that's very important. It could not have been done without statewide PROS, FDLE, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, Maricopa County, and others. This is why it's important that we band together, we continue to take a strong hold in Florida, and we continue to press on as hard as we can to show that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we do live in the greatest state. Thank you.
It's great to be here with wonderful sheriff. I'm proud of this team and what they've done. further exemplifying why Florida is the #1 public safety state, why we're the #1 destination for new families moving. We enforce the law, and we want to keep our families safe. Seeing this, it's just another example of how the open border under the Biden administration has put so many people in danger. A lot of this dangerous fentanyl is coming from China. We know that. It's a new era of warfare. It's not coming from the sky or the seas. It's coming across the border, and it's working its way into every community in our country. But here in Florida, we're going to crack down. Our Office of Statewide Prosecution is excited to work alongside law enforcement, work alongside Sheriff St. John and sheriffs from across Florida. We got the best sheriffs in the country. So we're going to put these two guys away. We're going to get, these, 12,500 pills and over 3 pounds of powder, enough fentanyl to kill over 2 million people. We're going to get it off the streets. We're going to continue to crack down, and we'll do everything we can to support law enforcement. Thank you. Oh, I should say before I have Deputy Commissioner Pollard come, this is the result of the SAFE program in Florida, a wonderful grant program that FDLE helps manage that provides grants to local law enforcement to help them bust fentanyl cases. I'll let him go into the details, but it's a wonderful program. I hope our legislature will continue to support it for the foreseeable future because it is saving lives. The results truly do speak for themselves. So, Commissioner Pollard.
Thank you, Sheriff St. John, Attorney General Uthmeier. I'm FDLE Deputy Commissioner Vaden Pollard. I'm honored to stand here with my law enforcement partners and with the Attorney General to announce the results of this very successful operation. Today's arrests are one of many that have resulted from funding that was granted through the SAFE program. When Governor Ron DeSantis signed the SAFE legislation into law in 2023, we had an idea of how successful it would be. But as we near the end of the second year of this program, we can say with confidence it's doing exactly what we needed, especially in Florida's rural counties. To date, FDLE has awarded SAFE grants to 86 law enforcement agencies. There have been 162 approved investigations, and nearly 403 pounds of fentanyl has been seized since the program's inception, along with over 57,000 fentanyl pills and various other deadly narcotics totaling around 2,000 pounds worth of illegal drugs have been taken off our streets. More than 1,600 prolific drug traffickers have been arrested because of this very successful program. I'd like to say that again, 1,600 drug dealers have been taken off the streets by Florida's law enforcement because of the SAFE funding. This matters even more in places like Suwannee County, where populations are smaller, but the threat is just as real. Like has been mentioned, 2 pounds of fentanyl is enough to kill 500,000 Americans. This single SAFE investigation alone has saved many lives. Rural sheriffs and their teams are often asked to do more with less. SAFE is changing that. It's leveling the playing field, bringing major investigative resources into smaller communities to make sure they are never outmatched by the drug traffickers. The success of this operation is a reminder about the importance of partnerships and support, not just between our local agencies and state and federal officials, but also from the top down, like Attorney General Uthmeier and also Governor DeSantis, who continue to support law enforcement, I will say, greatly and better than you see in most other states. I would like to personally thank Sheriff St. John and the investigative team at the Suwannee County Sheriff's Office for their dedicated and tireless efforts in this investigation. Great job, guys. I'm grateful for the Attorney General, who's so committed to this program, and also to law enforcement. I must share a sincere thank you to our FDLE grants team, who administer and manage several grant programs throughout Florida that helps all of our law enforcement agencies keep their communities safe. In Florida, keeping our families safe is a top priority. This case is one of many examples of the tireless and dangerous work being done by our officers and special agents out there on the streets every night to keep us safe. Thank you.
Joe, did you want to say something? Okay, good. Here again, guys, this concludes our interview here with all the dignitaries, your Attorney General, our Chief Deputy, Buddy Williams. At this point in time, I think we may want to take some questions if everybody has any.
Why did Suwannee County play such a crucial role in this drug trafficking operation? You hear about it being part of Arizona and then Florida, but not many people would think Suwannee County has a huge part in that. Why do you think it is?
Well, Suwannee County, like I said, we've got we partnered up with our North Star task force, and we've here again we've got let's say a small task force here, drug task force. That's why we pair up with the North Star, and then with that there, it just kind of snowballed into what we have here today. Here again, I don't have a whole lot of details. I'll pass on to Chief. He has a little more details. He's a little more involved in than I was, and I'll just let him kind of touch on that for us.
Information was received here in Suwannee County, and through the North Star attachment and our investigators doing their job, it just, like the sheriff said, it just got bigger. The information was received here. We got information that they were pushing fentanyl greatly in our community, and that's how this all came to be. Yes, sir.
Could you tell me a little bit about the suspects? Are they from the area, and do you know if these drugs were headed anyplace else other than Suwannee?
Well, with that amount of drugs, obviously it was going to multiple places, and with that kind of powder, they could be pressed into thousands of other pills. So not just saying that it was going to be here in Suwannee County, but again, Suwannee County is the midpoint of Florida. These drugs are distributed throughout our nation, and that's why it's important that something like this took place. Ron Wilson is from Arizona. That's why it led us to Arizona. Our investigators themselves went out there with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office to effect this arrest. Mr. Hughes is from Jacksonville. So, as you see, it spans. The reach of an illegal dealer is unlimited. He just happened to run into the wrong group of country boys that were willing to go the extra mile to effect an arrest.
What do you want the community to know about today's announcement, and how can they stay safe?
Well, here's what we need them to know. We need them to know and trust in their local law enforcement. Even though there's times when you start talking about a year-long investigation, it seems like nothing's being done. That's the hard part for us as well. A lot of folks want to talk about what's not happening, but they're not seeing what is happening underneath everything. These take time. They take patience. Nothing ever works as planned. You always have to improvise on what's happening. We just have to keep and remind our citizens that we have to maintain a steady fight against the dangerous drugs that are out there. And I don't know that we've seen the best of everything yet. They're continuing to change the way drugs are manufactured. We're dealing with synthetic opioids as we are talking now that has a legal, usable form, but that's not what's happening. We just need to remind folks to stay alert and keep your eyes and ears open and talk to us as law enforcement. We're gaining the support of our citizens back again in the state of Florida. That's one thing I can tell you. When you've got the backing of our governor and all of these agencies that are around you, we're going to make a difference. It's not going to be overnight, but through time and investigations such as this and the drive that these men and women have, we're going to continue to be successful in this drug war.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, sir.
One other thing, people at home should know is, fentanyl's finding its ways into so many other different drugs. People today, young kids will be smoking a joint, they won't realize it's been laced with fentanyl, and it kills you. In the smallest of quantities, it can kill you. Here's Suwannee County. Why Suwannee? It's because it's everywhere. Yes. Here, you just got people that, are man enough to go out there and bust these guys. But it is everywhere. So, here it would have killed the whole county multiple times over if it all ended up here. It seems very likely it was going to move on and be distributed further. But the reason the governor's such a big fan of the program is it's helping law enforcement in every single county, because it's got to be an all-in interagency approach if we're going to fully eradicate this great threat to our state. Thanks.
Just add on just a little more to your question there. I do want to give applause to my investigators here, my drug task investigators, and also with the North Star. You know, if it wasn't for, just like Chief was saying, you know, if it wasn't us, you know, for all us partner together, you know, this wouldn't happen all. And since we've become partners with North Star, my investigator, drug task investigators, they've done an outstanding job. This is just one case that they've done. Now, it's a fairly big case, as y'all see, you know, but I can't tell you the number of cases that they have been involved in to eradicate drugs here from Suwannee County. And I want to make a big shout out to my drug task investigators and the North Star, because they've done an outstanding job for us.
For people at home that don't know what North Star is, can you give us just a really brief overview?
Yes, sir. You know, just like I say, we're a small county. We're limited about what we can do. And North Star, I think it either include 11 or 13 counties that we can pull from. So we can pull, you know, they can give us the money, manpower, equipment, and so we can make a phone call. You know, we have two drug task investigators here in Suwannee County. I can make a phone call today and have 20 investigators over here from the different task force from different counties. So that's where the difference is that, you know, we can go from 2 to 20 in a matter of just one phone call. And here again, that's and plus, just like Chief was saying and Attorney General was saying, it doesn't the bad guys doesn't stay in Suwannee County. They go from county to county to county. You know, they have no jurisdiction. They can go wherever they want to, and that's why it's such a big plus to have the drug task force that we are part of, to be able to get all the different people from the different counties involved.
Do you think the suspects that were apprehended underestimated small town America, that they thought, you know, they could just hide in Suwannee County and just use the major highway systems that connect here?
I believe you're 100% right. Yes, sir. I think that underestimated it. Sure did. All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. Y'all, if y'all want these up close, you can look at them if you want to.
Legal pros keep things in check for clients, managing mountains of documents and tedious work. That's what ShareFile is for, keeping your work flowing with more